So life really throws some big questions at us. I'm not talking about like, what should I have for lunch today?
So for
That's a big question. Not that big though.
Have you ever wondered if we all have a grand plan? That's one of the questions that our next guest is asked daily.
He is. Welcome in, psychic medium, inspirational speaker, and author Andy Myers. Good to see you, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Thanks
Thanks
for having me. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
So what does it mean to be a psychic medium? And I guess, how long have you been able to do it? How did you come across it?
Sure. I've been doing this for about 7 years now. For about the past 5 years, it's actually been my full-time job. So day in, day out, my job is to give readings to people and help them connect with their loved ones in heaven and relay some not only messages that are meaningful, but ones that can be validated as accurate to lend a little bit of proof to the people who come to see me. It's a lot of fun. It keeps me on my toes.
How did you know you had this ability, and has it ever scared you?
I've been fortunate. I do know a lot of intuitives who have had scary moments throughout their lives, seeing something that was traumatizing. I never have. All of my experiences, and actually a lot of them are in my book, growing up throughout my life, they've been inspirational. They've been of the spiritual nature, and I found all of them uplifting. I honestly think that intuition is something that is within all of us, and I think it runs a little bit deeper maybe in some family trees. There's some other members in my family, my paternal grandmother, my maternal great-grandmother, who also had abilities.
Interesting.
So it's something that you just kind of developed. I mean, there's no school for it.
Yeah.
You went to North, then you went to UNO, so you went to college.
You're
and
an Omaha guy.
Yeah.
You're an Omaha guy. And then how did you first figure that you may have some special
to
gift?
read people.
Yeah, I had a life-changing spiritual vision of sorts, a near-death experience, you could actually call it, and it's in my book as well. But after that happened, everything began to unravel in the best possible way, and from then on, it was just a matter of trying to validate these hunches and gut feelings that I was getting. And I think I was just as surprised as anyone else when I would go up to strangers and ask them if what I was sensing about them was correct, and they would validate that it was. And I've been fortunate to just meet the nicest people from all walks of life and connect with so many thousands of people over the years. It's just my life purpose to help people. And I think that intuition is just the way, the means by which I accomplish that.
You get a lot of questions, and I imagine our viewers might have some of these. So if
Sure.
you don't mind, humor us and run through these common questions. Can our loved ones in heaven, so my Mima, does she know what I'm up to? Can she see what I'm doing every day?
Yes, they can. They can see what we're doing all the time, and they do. Sometimes they drop in on us a dozen times a day. Oftentimes they'll actually leave their calling card. They'll find creative ways to manipulate the surroundings to give you a message that's specific to you. I remember I gave a gallery reading in Kansas City over the weekend, and a lady's grandmother came through saying that butterflies, that was her specific sign, and turns out after relaying this message, the girl said she had a butterfly tattoo on her back in remembrance of her grandmother. As I cover the microphone.
No, that's
So, she's around you, your Mima is. I think the better question is, would they want to see what we're doing?
That's my fear.
That's the thing. I got to start behaving a little bit more now that I have this information that you provided. One of the other questions that people ask, can somebody really read someone else's mind?
And that's a good question. I actually addressed that in the book because it's a common question that I'm asked. And I think occasionally it does happen, but I think it's kind of a loophole in the fabric of space-time, because I think that generally speaking, our thoughts are private and they should remain private. And so generally speaking, no, not even the best psychic in the world could read the mind of another person.
So you can't read my mind?
Thankfully, no.
Yeah. Exactly.
There wouldn't be much to read some days.
What was that supposed to mean?
Do we all have a grand plan, right? Because a lot of people wonder, what is my purpose?
Yeah,
grand plan?
and that's, I even teach classes on life purposes. I think everyone wants to know, am I on track? Am I doing what God put me here to accomplish? And yes, we do all have a destiny. We all have a fate or a grand plan. And for some people, it's more neatly orchestrated than others, and for some of those free spirits out there, perhaps their life path is a little more loosey-goosey, allowing them for more variety and free will.
A little later, Andy Hoy's going to be in here, and we write this column for Metro Magazine.
Oh, sure.
He said, she said, and one of the topics was a soulmate.
Sure.
You know, we discussed whether we thought there are soulmates out there for people. I guess, what are your thoughts? Is there such thing as a soulmate?
There is. There absolutely, soulmates do exist.
Well, looks
Who
like
would
I
have
was
thought?
right again.
Yeah. I know some people watching are like, why aren't I with her?
Right.
Wish I could find mine. Actually, at the very end of my book, there's a story in there, a true story about my wife and I that I think will speak to a lot of people. It involves, and it involves our baby, actually, because my wife is almost into her 3rd trimester.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. This story involves our connection as soulmates, and it involves a prediction I made about our baby a long time ago. And for those who believe in guardian angels or who are open to the concept of reincarnation, the story actually offers a lot of proof that these phenomena are real.
I don't know if we're going to have time to talk about skeptics and what
Sure.
a quick word about that, and then we'll talk about more about this book and where you can get it.
Sure. You know, honestly, my hope is that this book helps bridge the gap between believers and skeptics. You know, personally, I believe that we can all come from different spiritual or religious backgrounds and maybe, you know, come into the same fork in the road. You know, but this book hopefully will speak to people from all walks of life, whether you're already a believer or you're a skeptic, but the book does include a lot of proof, you know, so read it. It's filled with a lot of true accounts.
And I like the way it's structured. Makes for an easy read,
Yeah.
right?
It does.
It's not like
but it's interesting that you address that, because there's a lot of skeptics out there.
There
I mean, I
is.
talk to people, do you believe in psychic mediums?
Well, I want to believe, but I just can't. You know? Listen,
Sure.
Andy is going to be signing books on Saturday at the Sheraton Omaha. That's near 108th and Dodge. RSVP online. We were showing you Andy's website just a moment ago. The book is called Flying Paint Rollers from Heaven, and you can learn more about Andy. Keep track of him on Twitter and on Facebook, and also there on that website. Thank you for coming in.
And it's great talking to Andy, but your
thank
wife
you.
is over there. I have a lot of questions for her, too.
and
Living with a psychic medium?
I want to know if you
What's
picked
that
up
like?
anything about us. Maybe we can talk in the commercial break. Don't you want to know?
Sure.
No, I don't.
No. Our loved ones are sleeping in today.
Don't wake them up.
You're on
Thanks
cruise
a lot.
control. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.